Welcome back to Mouse, Chapter 5, Mouse Holes. For a quick review, we'll remember that Vlad made it back to his people. Everything seemed normal at first, all 12 of them living in the house, living in luxury, but as they talk, he finds out that there's not a lot of food. They don't give the Jewish people very much as far as rations or anything. And the only reason that they're getting a little bit more is they're donating to the Geminide. So, which of course is the Jewish organization that's trying to help. A social goodwill sort of thing, I guess you might say. And then as they talk about it, he finds out that there's a little bit can be done on the black market here and there if you have enough money, because Pops pulled out all of his savings. Pops, by Pops, I mean father-in-law. So he goes to this street here, Modrzejowska, and people made money being illegal. He runs into a guy he knows that sold cloth. Guy says, "You bring me some cloth, I can get you some coupons." So he starts sneaking in cloth. Makes it for a little while. The Germans are taking furniture. Remember, they took Mom's bed, took Pop's bed, didn't even pay him for it. And then they just start having periods where they just beat him and confine him, and they disappear. And he almost got caught one time during that. Then, pretty soon, they arrested 4 more. Those guys weren't so lucky. One of them was the tailor. So, once again, he's right on the corner of getting in trouble. But he keeps fighting it off. Stays maybe a couple of days out of it. Then, all of a sudden, he almost gets caught selling sugar. But he's doing whatever he's got to do to make a living and save money, take care of his family. That's kind of the way it went. These people lost little by little. All right, so let's get here. People are getting separated. They all had to go down to sign in. Nice little speech. Ended up taking those that had big families and leaving the ones that had any value. And they just disappeared to Auschwitz. And then at the end here, Artie talks to Mala. And she's about her wit's end here dealing with him. But Artie's dad has just survived the war by holding on to a little bit of everything, being very tight with money, and working very hard, not letting anybody do stuff for him. And that's kind of the way he's living his whole life. And it kind of frustrates her. And Artie's looking for Mom's diaries, but no luck. So here we go to Chapter 5, Mouse Holes. Remember, they're losing more and more as we go. That's how the Germans did it. They took a little bit at a time, so nobody really noticed until it was too late. Okay, here we go. Chapter 5. Phone's ringing. Huh? Hello, Artie. I'm telling you, I don't know what to do with your father. He just climbed onto the roof. Mala? He insisted on fixing the drain pipe and got dizzy. I don't know how I ever got him down. What time is it? Now he wants to climb back up. What am I supposed to do? Please don't shout. See, he's still trying to wake up. Why don't you call a handyman? Geez, Mala, it's only 7:30 a.m. Francois and I were up till 4. You know we don't get up till... Hello, Artie. It's Papa here. I'm telling you, Mala makes me meshuggah. I want that maybe you could come down to Queens to help me. What? You've got to be kidding. When I was young, I could do by myself these things. But now, darling, I need your help for the drain pipe. Look, Pop, I'll call you back after I've had some coffee. Phew, maybe I was dreaming. Was it your father again? He wants me to go help him fix his roof or something. Shit, even as a kid I hated helping him around the house. He loved showing off how handy he was and proving that anything I did was always wrong. He made me completely neurotic about fixing stuff. I mean, I didn't even own a hammer before we moved into this place. One reason I became an artist was that he taught me it was impractical and just a waste of time. He thought it was. It was an area where I wouldn't have to compete with him. So, are you going out to Queens? No way. I'd rather feel guilty. Besides, I'm too busy and he can easily afford to hire somebody. Hello, Pop? Listen, about that drain pipe, I don't think I can come. So, never mind, Artie. I talked just now to Frank, what lives next door. He agreed he could fix with me over the weekend. Well, that's great. Yes, of course, better it would be fixed today, but at least somebody will help me. Pops likes to use the old guilt trip there, doesn't he? Okay, so we go on about a week later in the early afternoon. Artie shows up. Hiya, Pop. What you doing out here in the garage? It's always something here. I must do. I'm putting away now old nails. The long ones separate from the short ones. And he goes plink as he sorts them into cans. Is the roof all fixed up? Yeah, Frank from next door came eventually, and together we fixed. Do you need any help with those nails or anything? Nope. Such jobs I can do easily by myself. Plunk. Is everything okay? Blink. No, with my life now, it can't be everything okay. You go upstairs. I'll finish here my job, and in a few minutes I'll come up. Okay. And he blinks another nail. Hi, Mala. Oi, you scared me, Artie. My nerves are completely shot living with your father. He seemed a little bit upset when I saw him downstairs. Do you think he's angry that I didn't come help him last week? I don't think so. But keeping this house fixed up is too much for him now. I keep telling him to sell and buy a condo in Miami. He seems depressed. It could be that comic strip you once made. The one about your mother? What? Vladek saw it for the first time a couple of days ago. How do you know about Prisoner on the Hell Planet? My friend Ruthie has a son in college. He reads all the comics. He showed it to her, and she gave me a copy. Shit. I knew it wouldn't upset your father, so I kept it hidden, but somehow he found it. I drew this story years ago. It appeared in an obscure underground comic book. I never thought Vladek would see it. Prisoner on the Hell Planet. All right. Oh, we're changing the artwork completely here. So this is the illustration of what Artie drew himself. There's a picture of Artie and his mom. Trojan Lake, Trojan Lake, New York, 1968. Prisoner on Hell Planet, a case history. In 1968, my mother killed herself. She left no note. My father found her in the bathtub when he got home from work. Her wrist slashed, an empty bottle of pills nearby. Oi, got! I was living with my parents for the most part, as I agreed to do on release from the state mental hospital several months before. Shows him coming up out of the subway. I had just spent the weekend with my girlfriend. My parents didn't like her, and I was late getting home. When I saw the crowd, I had a pang of fear. I suspected the worst, but I didn't let myself know. A cousin herded me away from the scene. Come to the doctor's. Your mother is, sick. He will explain. Dr. Oren's lived nearby. Sit down, Arthur. I thought I should be the one to tell you. Your mother killed herself. She's dead. Look how he makes it look so fearsome. I could avoid the truth no longer. The doctor's words clattered inside me. I felt confused. I felt angry. I felt numb. I didn't exactly feel like crying, but I figured I should. And he's starting to tear up. She's dead. A suicide. And he finally lets go. Now, boy. No, let him cry. It's good for him. We went home. My father had completely fallen apart. Oi, Artie, why such a tragedy? And not even a note. I was expected to comfort him. Mother. See, he's not able to comfort much there, is he? Somehow the funeral arrangements were made, and for $950, we have a bronze casket with a bronze-colored velvet, of course. For $2,000, we can. And Pops is just, he's not there. That night was bad. My father insisted we sleep on the floor, an old Jewish custom. I guess he held me and moaned to himself all night. I was uncomfortable. We were scared. The next day at the funeral home was worse. And they're saying the Jewish prayers. My father fought for self-control and prayed. I was pretty spaced out in those days. I recited to my mother from the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And then there's some more chanting. And then his recitement, O nobly born in your journey through the formless void, remember the unity of all living things. Then Papa loses it. Anna, Anna, Anna! And he walks away as Pops is crying, Anna. A friend of the family found me out in the hall. Now you cry. Better you cried when your mother was still alive. I felt nauseous. The guilt was overwhelming. And he takes off walking, and it's kind of a jumble of just city streets and Jewish signs, and just kind of losing a little bit of his mental control, I would say. The next week we spent in mourning. My father's friends all offered me hostility mixed with their condolences. Arthur, we're so sorry. It's his fault, punk. He's thinking that, not saying it. And he's thinking, they think it's my fault. But for the most part, I was left alone with my thoughts. Was it menopausal depression? Hitler did it. Mommy, and I'm not saying that word. I remembered the last time I saw her. Artie. And he's crying as he's thinking. She came into my room. It was late at night. Artie, you still love me, don't you? I turned away, resentful of the way she tightened the umbilical cord. Sure, Ma. She walked out and closed the door. Click. Ugh. Well, Mom, if you're listening, congratulations. You've committed the perfect crime. You put me here, shorted all my circuits, cut my nerve endings, and crossed my wires. You murdered me, Mommy. You left me here to take the rap. Pipe down, Mac. Some of us are trying to sleep. So he imagined himself in prison. Okay, back to our story. Gee, I'm surprised that Vladek read this when he found it. He never reads comics. He doesn't even look at my work when I stick it under his nose. But this isn't like the other comics. I tell you, when Ruthie showed it to me, I thought I'd faint. I was so shocked. It was so personal. But very accurate, objective. I spent a lot of time helping out here after Anya's funeral. It was just as you said. So, Artie, I'm ready. Let's walk now to the bank together. Mala just told me that you saw my comic, the one about Mom. Yes, I found it when I looked for the things you asked for me last time. Whew! I saw the picture there of Mom, so I read it and I cried. I'm sorry. It's good you got it outside your system. But for me, it brought in my mind such memories of Anya. Of course, I'm thinking always about her anyway. Yes, you keep photos of her all around your desk, like a shrine. What have I to do, Mala? In the garbage put them? Of you also I have a photo on the desk. Don't do me any favors. You see what I have to have with her? Always, whatever I do is no good. Did you find Mom's diary? So far, this didn't show up. I looked, but I can't find. I've got to have that. Another time, I'll again look, but now better we go to the bank. Okay. So they're walking here. Every day I walk, otherwise in my legs the circulation makes me a crap. It's something terrible and I can't sleep. But for my heart, I must walk also. What happened to you and Anya after the big selection at the stadium? Well, for a time it was everything quiet. Then in 1943 came an order. All Jews that are left in Sosnovich must go to live in an old village nearby called Srodulya. So the Poles of Srodulya, we Jews had to pay to move them to our houses in Sosnovich, and here in Srodulya would be our ghetto to live ever after. So they pulled them out of their houses, gave them to the people in Srodulya, and then made them pay to move the people from Srodulya into their houses that they just stole. Okay. Our family got a cottage, less space than before, but we had at least where to live. Many lived only in the street. So you got the fences and the word Juden, which means Jew. Each day we were taken to Sosnowiec to work in the German shops. Anya with her sister Tasha, they worked in a clothing factory. And I went together with my nephew Lolek to a woodwork shop. Remember, he learned that woodworking for that card. Every day the guards marched us about an hour and a half to work. The guards, it was Jews with big sticks. They acted so just like the Germans. Some of the Jews thought that they'd save their lives if they joined the Germans. I don't think in the end it helped them much. And every night they marched us back, counted us, and locked us in. So basically they're in prison. Vladek, Lolek, hurry home. Anya, what is it? Wolf's uncle Persis is at our house. From Zaworski? Yes, he's a big shot there, the head of their Jewish council. He wants Wolf, Tasha, and Bibi to go live with him in Zawirsky. You've all heard the stories about Auschwitz. Horrible, unbelievable stories. They can't be true. One thing is certain. As bad as things are in a ghetto, being deported is even worse. Please, it's bad luck to even speak of it. See, they're living in fear. Look, you don't have much influence here. In Zawirsky, I have some influence with the Germans. I can bribe them. My 90-year-old father still lives with me. Whenever there's a roundup, an SS man guards him to keep him safe. 90? This was 1943. It wasn't left any other Jews that had 90 years. Persis was really a fine man, not so like Monique Merlin, the head of our ghetto, who looked out only for himself. Persis tried really to help his Jews. I can manage papers to take Wolf, Tasha, and Bibi, and maybe little Lonya and Risho, if you'll let me. Yes, they'd be better off. Got an angry look there. I don't think they're happy about that. You see, I wanted to send Rishu someplace safe a year ago with Ilzeski's child. Things are even worse now, Vladek. We have no choice. No, we must all stay together. We've made it this far. God will still help us. Matka, be realistic. Anya's mother didn't like to look at the facts. But finally, even she agreed. So Persis arranged and he came again to Srodulya. I went with him and Wolf, Tasha, and Bibi, Lolek's little sister Lanya, and our boy Risho. We watched until they disappeared from our eyes. See, they got barbed wire, so they are not going anywhere. It was the last time ever we saw them, but that we could not know. When things came worse in our ghetto, we said always, thank God the kids are with Persis safe. That spring, on one day, the Germans took from Srodulya to Auschwitz over 1,000 people. Most they took were kids, some only 2 or 3 years. Some kids were screaming and screaming, they couldn't stop. So the Germans swing them by the legs against the wall, and they never any more screamed. In this way, the Germans treated the little ones that still had survived a little. This I didn't see with my own eyes, but somebody the next day told me and said, thank God with Persis, our children are safe. So what happened to Risho? Ah, our beautiful boy. We only found out much later. A few months after we sent Risho to Zawirsky, the Germans decided they would finish out that ghetto. More gunshots. What's going on? Bang, bang. It's horrible, Tasha. All the Gestapo in the ghetto have been replaced by others from Opel. They just shot Persis and the rest of the Jewish council. What? They're evacuating Zawirsky. We're all supposed to go to the square with our baggage right away. They're sending all of us out to Auschwitz. Oh my God. No. I won't go to their gas chambers. And my children won't go to their gas chambers. Bibi, Lanya, Risho, come here quickly. Always Tasha carried around her neck some poison. She killed not only herself, but also the 3 children. I'm telling you, it was a tragedy amongst tragedies. He was such a happy, beautiful boy. The hard part to read. Sorry, my foot hit the stand. Did Tasha's husband survive? No. On the train to Auschwitz, he tried to escape and they shot him. Hardly any survived. But these things we learned only much later. In our bunkers, we heard only rumors. Your bunkers? Yes, we had in Schrodula to make for ourselves bunkers, places to hide. The Germans started to grab out anybody, if he had papers or not. Therefore, I arranged for us a very good hiding spot in our cellar where it was a coal storage. Show to me your pencil, and I can explain to you such things. It's good to know exactly how it was, just in case. All right, so they're right here, the side view. There's the kitchen. Outer wall, coal bin. It's got a false bottom, removable wood panel, and then the bin's bolted to the floor. So they lift the lid, they lift out the coal, they go down the ladder into the bunker, and that's where they stay. And then right here, the coal bin, if they were to look in the basement for their coal supply, there's the coal. The only problem is you don't have much coal because you've taken all your storage space for hiding. So in the kitchen was a coal cabinet, maybe 4 foot wide. Inside I made a hole to go down to the cellar. And there we made a brick wall filled high with coal. Behind this wall we could be a little safe. So they all would hide in that little box if the Germans came. Even when they came with dogs to smell us out, and they knew that Jews were laying here, but still they couldn't find. And they'd sit there in the dark. Here they are in the basement, just inches away. The dogs are looking at the wall, but they're not getting it. The dogs ran up and down like mad, but in the coal bin was only coal. It looked full, and they couldn't lift it. In the cellar, it was only a cellar. Is it safe to go out yet? I can't stand all these worms crawling all over me. The Germans are leaving. We had worms there in that bunker. We've got enough food to stay here a couple of days. We'd better wait until things quiet down. We survived there a few actions, but what didn't make such a good place, like what I made, they kept being taken away. So they survived, but if people didn't have a hiding place like that, Germans found them. Then in June, they arrested Monique Merlin and all the other highest big shots of the Judenrat, the Jewish Council. See, they were hiding up in a little bunker in the attic. They had a false wall, went up through the entrance in the upstairs bedroom. Around this time, we were put into a different house. Here also we made a bunker. So Vlad was pretty sharp there about hiding stuff, wasn't he? By the end of July, the Nazis made to liquidate completely our ghetto. It was 10,000 Jews taken away in 1 week. Except to sneak for food, we stayed mostly in the bunker. And see, there the people just shot. Lolik, thank God you're safe. It's like a battlefield outside. There's hardly anyone left in Schrodula. Everyone has been deported or shot. From all the Jews of all of Sosnovich, it was left maybe 1,000 in the ghetto. At least your bag is full of... You found a lot of food, yes? Just a few old turnips and some books. Books? What's the matter with you? We can't eat books. Shh. All the time we were hungry. We just didn't have what to eat. One night we went to sneak for food. Look, a stranger. We dragged him up to our bunker. What are you doing here? I didn't know anyone lived here. I just stopped to rest a moment. My wife and I have a starving baby. I was out hunting for scraps. He's lying. In the morning we gave him a little... Oh, wait, he may be an informer. The safest thing would be to kill him. Well, what had we to do? We took on him pity. In the morning, we gave a little food to him and left him go to his family. And then he's right back. Judenras! The Gestapo came that afternoon. So here's another one that's helping the Nazis, thinking it's going to save him. They took us to a building in a part of Schrodula separated by wires, a ghetto inside the ghetto, and there we had to sit and wait. We were maybe 200 people together, waiting. Each Wednesday went vans to Auschwitz. when we were caught, it was maybe Thursday, so they're going to be there a whole week. Look, Anya, that's my cousin Yakov Spiegelman in the courtyard. Hey, Yakov, help us. Vladek, there's nothing I can do. I made signs to show I could pay. He's got a watch left. Some gold I hid in the chimney of our bunker when they took us, but a few valuables I had still with me. Okay, don't worry, Haskell will come help you. Haskell Spiegelman was another cousin. Wouldn't they have helped you even if you couldn't pay? I mean, you were from the same family. Ha! You don't understand. At that time, it wasn't any more families. It was everybody to take care for himself. In other words, they'd turn in their family just as easy as they'd turn in the enemy. The next day came in 2 girls carrying food. With them came Haskell, a chief of the Jewish police. Look, Vladek, I can get you and your wife out, even your nephew, but your in-laws are too old. They'll never get past the guards. Please, we'll make it worth your while. And they'd throw him a ring. The 2 girls he sent back to the kitchen. Quick, boy, grab this empty pail and carry it out with me. From the window, we saw Lolik go. See, they're carrying him out in the bucket. My God, Vladek, you must get Matka and me out to give her, your cousin, this gold watch, this diamond, anything. Of course, I'll do everything I can. The day after, Anya and I carried past the guards the empty pails. Haskell took from me father-in-law's jewels, but finally, he didn't help them, so they just watched him go. On Wednesday, the vans came. Anya and I saw her father at the window. He was tearing his hair and crying. He was a millionaire, but this even didn't save him his life. All the money in the world, and you can't stop racial hatred. So Mom's parents died in Auschwitz. No, what else? Right away, they went to the gas. Haskell was happy to take from father-in-law the jewels, but the risk to save them, this he was not so happy to take. Always Haskell was such a guy, a combinator. A what? A guy what makes kombinacja, a schemer, a crook. What did you pick up? Telephone wire. It is very hard to find. Inside is little wires, is good for tying things. You always pick up trash. Can't you just buy wire? Psh! Why did you always want to buy when you can find? Anyway, this wire, they don't have it in any stores. I'll give to you some wire. You'll see how useful it is. No thanks. Just tell me what happened with Haskell. And they're walking along back in the streets. There are only about 1,000 Jews left here. Most work at the Braun shoe shop. Haskell was a very big man in the ghetto, but when Schroedler was finishing, I'll register you both there, and good afternoon, Sergeant. How are you, Herr Spiegelman? Haskell played very often cards with the Gestapo. We'll see you tonight, yes? Naturally. I just hope you won't be as lucky as last time. He lost to them big amounts of money, so they would like him. Malak, take care of Cousin Vladek. Gladly. Haskell had 2 brothers, Peshach and Malak. Peshach was also a combinator, but Malak, he was a fine fellow. Ben here can show you how to resole the German boots. We'll reserve this workbench for you. So he's going to work in a shoe shop. You don't have to sit here all the time, but whenever the German commission comes to inspect, just sit here and look busy. From time to time, I had other jobs also to do around the ghetto. Yes, this reminds me of something now. Remember this guy what I told you gave us out for our bunker? Well, you know I buried him. Hey, this is the rat that turned my family over to the Gestapo. He was shot. Haskell had arranged he would be killed. But if he's dead, why are his eyes still wide open? He was struggling to survive. It happened I was on the work detail, so I buried him. Haskell is alive still in Poland with a Polish woman. A judge that kept him hidden when... My heart. Artie, quick, take from my pocket the nitrostat pill. Here you go. You okay? Whew. I'll be fine now. I have only to catch my breath. Still for a minute. Let's sit on that soup. Just relax. Don't talk for a while. Whew, I made too fast our walking. Thank God with the nitrostat it's complete. Completely over, right away. What was I telling you? You sure you're okay? Well, you were saying that Haskell survived the war. Yes, even a few years ago I sent him packages. Gifts? Why? He sounds like a rotten guy. Yes, I don't know why. I know only that I sent. You know, one time I was in the ghetto walking around. Halt, Jew! Oh boy. Got the gun to his head. Give me your ID papers. I'm going to blow your brains out. Ah, I see you're a member of the illustrious Spiegelman family. Go on your way then, and give Haskell my regards. Such friends Haskell had. The gun goes from being at his head to around his shoulder. I told Haskell and Mylock later about this. You were very lucky, Vladek. They called him the shooter. Every day he kills some poor Jew, just for fun. Hey, aren't you going over to Pishak's to buy some cake? Cake? For years we didn't see any cake, hardly even any bread we saw. It's impossible. He's joking? Cake? But Cousin Pishak was really selling cake. Everyone that could afford it stood in line to buy a piece. It looks delicious. How did you manage it, Pishak? When people are sent to Auschwitz, my men search their houses. Pishak was like Haskell, part of the Jewish police. They find a little flour here, a few grams of sugar there. I saved it. He was younger from Haskell, but also a combinator. Sorry, I keep bumping the trident. You know what a crook my Rivka is? You know what a cook my Rivka is? I was thinking combinator. I'm sorry about that, folks. You know what a cook my Rivka is? Try it. It's only 75 zlotys a slice. I still had savings, so I got for Anya and me some cake. But the whole ghetto, we were so sick later, you can't imagine. Some of the flour Pishak found, it wasn't really flour, only laundry soap, what he put in the cake by mistake. Ow, groin, oi, ouch. Everybody's got stomach cramps from eating cake made with laundry soap. Before the war, Pishak had a resort hotel in Zakopane. In those days also he found always schemes. All guests had to pay big Polish taxes, so Pishak took bribes not to register them. But if an inspector came, the guests had to hide themselves away. One time his wife made not enough desserts to give to everybody. So Pishak ran into the dining room and yelled, "Inspectors are coming!" It was no inspector, of course, but 40% of the guests ran fast from the room. Pishak had enough desserts left over even for the next day. Come. Are you ready to walk again? Yes, it's too dirty to sit. But really, if I didn't have my nitrostat, it would have been just now something terrible. Mylock Spiegelman, he survived the war with his wife and child, and they moved to Australia. About 5 years ago, he got a big heart attack. And last year, he got on the street a seizure, like what I had just now. But he didn't have with him his pills. His wife ran to find a drugstore. When she came back, Mylock was dead. So life goes. But I must finish quick to tell you the rest about Shrodulia, because we will come soon over to the bank. By the end of 1943, the vans went every Wednesday with more and more and more people from Shrodulia to Auschwitz until it was very few left. It could be our turn soon, eh, Vladek? Let's hope not, Mylock. Haskell heard that any day now they intended to deport everyone that's still left here. Mylock took me to the shoe shop. I got the guards there. It was early, and nobody was there. Haskell made plans to smuggle himself out of the ghetto. Pishak and I have also a plan. He moved a few shoes from a pile high to the ceiling. Don't tell anyone about this except Anya and your nephew. We came out into a bunker. Be prepared to bring them on a moment's notice. It's incredible. Everything was ready here so 15 or 16 people could hide through a tunnel made from shoes. Smart people. But when Anya and I approached to discuss this bunker with Lolek, no thanks, forget it. But Mylok organized everything. I'm sick of hiding. Our nephew was then only 15. He was working as an electrician. Always Lolek was a little meshuggah. I'm a skilled worker. Wherever they take me, I'll be okay. You're crazy. You're going straight to the ovens. And he did get put into one of the next transports to Auschwitz. Anya became completely hysterical. The whole family is gone. Grandma, Grandpa, Papa, Mama, Tasha, Bibi, my Risho. And now they'll take Lolek. It was also around this time that we heard first the bad news from Zaversky about Tasha and Risho. Oh God, let me die too. Come, Anya, get up. Why are you pulling me, Vladek? Let me alone. I don't want to live. No, darling, to die is easy. But you have to struggle for life. Until the last moment, we must struggle together. I need you. And you will see that together we'll survive. This always I told to her. The ghetto finished out so like Mylok said. About 12 from us ran into his bunker with him and his wife and his 3-year-old baby boy. Gucha, you've got to keep the baby quiet. Why, I'm hungry. Hush. He'll have to keep him under blankets until he calms down. In a bunker in another part from the shoe shop lay Pishak and some others. It was nothing to do all day but to lie and starve. The whole day and night Anya sat writing into her notebook. There, I've managed to dig a small hole in the stone wall. I can see soldiers. All around were guards to find any who remained hiding. What little food we had, soon it was gone. Oh, I wish I had some bread. I wish I had some bread. I wish... Quiet, we're all starving. You can see how their eyes are sunken in now. At night, we sneaked out to look for what to eat, but it was nothing to find. Here, Anya, chew on this. You found food? Never any of us had been so hungry like then. No, it's only wood, but chewing it feels a little like eating food. After a time, Pishak came over to us from his bunker. Maybe you fools are willing to lie here until you starve to death, but not me. I've contacted one of the guards. It'll cost a fortune, but he's agreed to look the other way. Our group will mix in with the Poles when they walk past Rodulia on the way to work tomorrow. If you want to chip in, you can come with us. Many from our bunker said yes. Mylok and I, we said no to this idea. We didn't trust to the Germans. One guy from our bunker, Avram, came to me. He said, tell me when you will go out, Vladek, then I'll know it's safe. He and his girlfriend wanted to pay me to advise. They had still 2 watches and some diamond rings. I didn't want to take. They needed these to live. So I took only the small watch. The next morning, very early, the group walked out. They gave over the money and went past the guard. I stood secret behind a corner. I heard loud shooting, and I didn't go to see what happened. It's like taka-taka. It's like a machine gun. I only ran very fast back to our bunker. Only a few of us remained. There haven't been any lights on in the guardhouse for 2 nights. I think it's safe. A little before dawn, we went out from Shrodulia. They're all gone, and they're wearing disguises. Phew, the ghetto is empty. Ahead of time, we organized ourselves good clothes and ID papers. We mixed with the Poles going to work. We'll be hiding at this address. When you find a safe place, try to contact us, Vladek. Good luck, Mylok. We went all in different directions. That guy Avram, his woman had friends to keep them. And the friends kept them until Avram's money finished, and then they were reported. And it looks like even a swastikas are walking away. Anya and I didn't have where to go. We walked in the direction of Sosovich, but where to go? There was nowhere we had to hide. Can I help you, Mr. Spiegelman? Yes, I have here my son Artie. I want to sign him a key so he can go also to my safety box. Ah, so Vladek is getting Artie a key to his safety deposit box. In case anything bad happens to me, you must run right away over here. Therefore I arranged for you this key. Take everything out from the safe, otherwise it can go only to taxes, or Mala will grab it. Please, Pop. Talking about your estate just makes me uncomfortable. You are now old enough, so we must think of these things. Why don't you just enjoy your savings while you still can? I'll keep in my desk your copy of the key. You would only lose it. You see what I have here? This cigarette case and this lady's powder case. It's 14 carats gold. These things I had with me then in Shrodulia and in the chandelier bunker. Really? How can you possibly still have them? When the Gestapo found us, I dropped quick a few things into the chimney. If they found the rest of my jewels, at least these might remain. After I came out from the camps of 1945, I sneaked back to Shrodulia, and at night, while the people inside slept, I digged these things out from the bottom of the chimney. Gosh. You see this diamond? First I gave to Anya when first we came to the U.S. Even when you were a little boy, Anya wanted that this ring would be for your wife. But if I give it to you, Mala will drive me crazy. She wants everything only for her. She wants that I give nothing for my brother in Israel, and nothing for you. 3 times already she made me change over my will. Come on, Mala's okay. Oh, you only can't know. Even right after my last heart attack, when still I was in bed, she started again about changing the will. I said, Mala, you see how sick I am. Let me a little bit have some peace. What you want from me? And she screamed, I want the money, the money, the money. Why, Artie, I ever remarried? Oi, Anya, Anya, Anya. Easy, Pop. Let's go home. And we come to chapter 6, Mousetrap.